58, chasing the lights. Both had battles that brought them low, but they found a way to steal the show. Health concerns were weighing them down till they found a path that turned it around. Carnivore diet, they took the leap, finding strength in the promises they keep. Now they're living wild, living free, healing body and mind. Just wait and see. Tune into the truth every single week. Real talk with Brian and Johnny. That's the peak. 8 p.m. on YouTube. Gather near. Uplifting vibes. Let's give a cheer.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian.
I'm Johnny.
All right. Ready to do this live. I see we already got several people here. So we'll say hi to some people here in the chat here real quick first, and then I'll give a quick update on how I'm doing. Paul is here. Hello. Somebody has to be first. It's Paul.
It's Paul.
Mastered his compression sock, Butler, and a pair of latex gloves, putting compression socks on a breeze. Okay. Rick is here. Good to see you, Rick. Linda. Hello, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Rick is doing some cleaning while he's listening today. Greg is here. Good to see Greg. How are you, Greg?
What's my friend?
What else we got? Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia.
So Brian is now Bran. What did I do?
I probably misspelled it on my thing.
Oh, okay.
I left out an eye.
Like, oh.
Those eyes are over.
All right. So I think I'm caught up on the comments here. Okay. So I'll give an update real quick on how I'm doing. It's exactly a week from when I injured my hamstring, tore my hamstring. I'll tell you, you're probably going to see me doing a lot of fidgeting because this is my first time since Wednesday night when we went live sitting on my computer chair. And the top of the hamstring, where it kind of connects in like to your butt area, is sore. So sitting on this chair is really sore. So I'm already catching myself in these first couple of minutes, like moving all around, trying to find something more comfortable. But anyway, okay, so it's been a week. A lot of what I've done in that time is tried to stay off it as much as possible. But I still have done some walking around to go to the bathroom, get something to eat, that kind of stuff, right? Going up and down steps, unfortunately, I have that. So that's happened some. But I have a compression sleeve on my leg. I have crutches that I have used to just kind of support myself. Like when I walk, I still kind of walk, but using the crutches. So I'm putting most of the strength on the crutches. And I've been doing like some icing and stuff like that. I would say that I've maybe seen a little bit of improvement here and there. And then today, I think I saw a lot of improvement, which was really promising. I'm pretty much just using the crutches for going up and down the steps at this point. I'm not using it to walk. I'm still kind of walking with a limp, but here's the thing. I keep catching myself today, and today's the first time this has happened, but I keep catching myself going to walk normal and taking like a full step. And then I'm like, wait, am I going to hurt myself by doing that? Is it going to hurt? So like after a step, I stop and I go back to do like a more of a half step, which is more of like a limp, you know, because I'm afraid I'm still too early to walk normal and may hurt myself. So that's kind of what I've been doing today. But there seems to be less swelling. Bruising is still about the same as what it was. And I don't know if you've seen one of the videos that I put out earlier in the week, but I did have a picture so you can see the bruising. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where it is. I feel like I got more mobility. So Johnny, like, you know, even when you were here Wednesday evening, I really couldn't get down, bending down, like hurt really bad. Within the last couple of days, if I go slow, I can bend down and pick something up off the ground. I feel a little bit of tightness as that muscle kind of contracts when you do that, but not too bad. So that's been an improvement as well for me. So it's only a week, but I feel like that's pretty good improvement for a week. Exactly how long it's going to take me to where I'm back to walking normal and everything, I don't know. It could take several weeks. We'll see. But I think that's a pretty good start for me.
Yep.
So, Johnny, you had an issue too. It wasn't near as bad, but you want to give us an update on how you're feeling with that? Because I think you're looking pretty good at this point, right?
Yeah, Brian, I had the exact opposite. And matter of fact, this is something that I've never experienced before. I actually strained the front of my leg, I guess you'd say a quad muscle. So not the hamstring, which is normally what I'll pull or tear, especially early on when I started sprinting. That happened a lot. But I haven't had any trouble lately. But this time when I was with you, the front of my leg, I guess you'd say my quad, just above my knee, really it felt like something pinched it on that last run that I did. I managed to finish out the run, but you remember when I came to your house that night when my wife and I came back to do the live, I was having a pretty tough time as well. Fortunately, it got better relatively quickly, and this is a great lead into our topic for tonight. So I drove home the next day, and it's about 5.5, maybe 6 hours from your house to my house. And my wife and I stopped just north of where I live and actually grabbed something to eat. And I'm here to tell you, getting out of the car after having the leg in that same position for 6 hours was brutal. It was a 8 out of 10 just to get, and she wanted to go to Olive Garden. And I found something that I could kind of eat carnivore, but that's where the wife wanted to go. And she was a great sport about going with me and filming and doing the interviews with us and everything. I figured I would appease her and go to the Olive Garden. And we parked relatively close to the door, and good thing, because my goodness. So what I noticed the first 2 or 3 days after the injury for me was the more I moved, the better I felt. The less I moved, the more stiff it got, or the more pain I'd have when I'd get up and start moving. Now, when I get up and move around a little bit, 2 or 3 minutes of walking, it kind of loosen up. But in the mornings, getting out of bed was kind of tough. And then, so I would say probably, because I worked Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And, when I'm at work, I'm on my feet. I walk probably 6,000 or 8,000 steps a day going in and out of the hospitals and nursing homes and stuff. And then it kind of got to where I didn't even notice it. So my plan was today to try to do a couple of sprints today, maybe like an 80% effort. But cooler heads prevailed. My wife went out of town. I said, well, the wife's not here, so she won't be on my back nagging me about not running sprints. But I did a few little trial sprints out in the yard, and I could still tell a little bit. It wasn't bad, but it was noticeable. And I said, if I hurt this thing, it'll be that much longer before I can sprint. And I'm really looking forward to doing some more. The weather's getting ready to turn. I don't know how long I'll be doing sprints. If it's 25 or 30 degrees outside, I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of sprints, in that weather, because I think that's when you have a better opportunity to get injured, is when your muscles are very cold. So I ended up just doing an upper body workout today. I just put out a video. It actually just went out a couple hours ago. And so I did an upper body workout today, and then I went and played 18 holes of golf. So still pretty active, but I didn't do any sprints today.
Okay. Well, I thought I saw, and I didn't get a chance to actually watch the video, but I thought I saw, it might have been a short that you did about the podcast for tonight, where it looked like you were golfing. So I figured you were doing much better than at least you were Wednesday night, which is good. But I think that's also the right thing, to just not do the sprinting for a little bit yet and make sure that you're good. So, and for people that are wondering, yes, I do still plan to sprint. I'm probably going to ease into it more when I go back to it and try not to push myself as much. Though I'm not sure. I really kind of believe that it was the losing my balance and falling, that caused my injury, not the actual running. But anyway, I do plan to do that. It's just, I'm not sure when that's going to be, because it's going to take a while to heal. A torn hamstring can take a few months, could even be possibly longer before you can really run without pain. So we'll have to see. And then it's going to be getting into winter time. So it could be realistically, it could be the spring before I do it again. But it's interesting. Like right now, about all I can do is maybe some weights with my arms type of thing, arm curls, shoulder presses, stuff like that. Can't really do anything with my legs. So there's not a whole lot of exercise I can do right now. But I will say also, and I don't know if you've noticed this with it, you went golfing today, so you probably haven't been easing up as much as me, but with resting so much, it gets tiring. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here any longer. I want to do something. And then I think like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to jump up, and I'm going to do something like, oh, wait, I can't jump up. It's going to hurt. Shoot.
Yeah.
So that's been my biggest thing right now.
I'll say real quick, Brian, what surprised me about your injury was that happened Wednesday, and I think it was Sunday. It's either Saturday or Sunday. You sent me the picture of what is called ecchymosis, the bruising under the skin where the blood actually showed up. I'm surprised it took that many days. So I'm assuming the tear was higher up, maybe closer to your buttocks, and the blood ran down, gravity pulled it down. Eventually it kind of pulled right there a little bit behind your knee. And so I was surprised it took that long for the blood to show up. But,
Yeah.
I know it sounds bad blood, but your body will just reabsorb that. And as the healing process goes, you'll be fine. That was surprising. It took 3 or 4 days for that to show up.
And I think you're spot on with that, because most of the pain that I feel when I do feel something is higher up.
Yep.
So I think you're right that it just kind of drained downward and then it started showing up. The interesting thing is like where that bruising is. If I kind of push on it, maybe there's just a light little bit, but there's not much that I feel from it. But a little bit higher up, especially as I'm sitting. And that's part of the problem I have is I'm trying to rest it and sit, but so some of the time I'm trying to sit off to one side like this, and it makes it interesting. So I don't know. All right. So we've talked a little bit already about our topic, because our topic is the power of carnivore for injury repair and regeneration. I've never actually had a torn hamstring before. I've had pulled hamstrings when I was younger, especially when I played basketball, and I'd have issues with them, but I never experienced the full, like having a torn hamstring before. But from everything I've read, it seems like I'm recovering faster than what you normally see for a torn hamstring. I know it's still just been a week, but it seems like you don't really start to get a lot of mobility back, where I kind of feel like I probably could walk normal. It might hurt a little, but I could walk normal, and that doesn't seem like that's a normal trend. So I do think that carnivore makes a big difference in recovery, and I'm probably recovering a lot faster than most people would at my age, especially the age of 51.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of comments just going back and forth about people. It's nice to see Greg out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of discussion is going.
Yeah.
I do have the thing up on the screen here so everybody can see the comments. It shows like 3 or 4 comments at a time. So that's pretty cool in case you're on a different channel, since we have both of our channels going. Also a reminder for everybody, if you have any questions for us, put a large Q, capital Q at the front so that we can easily see the question and be able to answer that. And let's see, so you mentioned before to me when we were talking that when you first started sprinting, you did have some issues here and there. And that was when you already had started carnivore, right?
Yeah.
So you have more experiences with a bit of a quicker recovery with carnivore too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those when you first started sprinting?
Yeah. The first 4 or 5 times I would go and try to sprint, I would do static stretches where you just kind of lean over and stretch those hamstrings and stand in one spot, which I've since learned that's not the correct way to warm up for explosive exercise. So I think I was starting out wrong. I was doing the wrong type of stretches prior to doing an explosive type exercise. As explosive as we can be in our 50s, right? But that's as hard as I could go, as quick as I could go. But I would notice, Brian, I would go like say on a Wednesday. Usually Wednesday was the day I would do it. And, you know, I would come up lame on the third or fourth one, and I would kind of be hobbling back to the car. And usually by Saturday, it would be pretty well manageable. I don't think I missed any work because of a pulled hamstring. And this was consecutive. And I finally started running longer distances. And I think that helped. And the reason I say that is because when you run those short distances, you can go as hard as you can go for, you know, me and you were doing basically 4-second runs the other day, right? For 4 seconds, you can go all out. But when you put that thing at 40 yards, 45 yards, 50 yards, you have to temper yourself. You'll never make it to the finish line, you know, at that pace. So as I did longer sprints, I think I was taking a little bit of the explosiveness, I don't know how we say that, out so that I could get to the other end and not be completely exhausted. And I think that really helped with the injury. I think doing those short explosive things with improper warm up, still out of shape, having not done it for many years, was part of the problem. But to your point, and back then I was dialed in. My carnivore diet was absolutely positively dialed in. Sunshine, grounding, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, great night's sleep. And I was having recovery, and I was 56 at the time. I was having recovery much, much faster than anyone would think, you know. And so I did a little research today, Brian, and this kind of goes without saying. So obviously you guys know I work on an ambulance. I take people from the hospital. One of the things we do is we take people from the hospital to rehabilitation. And sometimes we'll have a person, say they're in their 50s, say they're close to my age, and they trip and fall at home and they break their ankle, or they have a bad muscle tear, or they break, say, their shin bone, their tibia or their fibula. And I'll take them to the rehab facility, which is basically right behind the hospital. And the overwhelming majority of these people are, you know, overweight, diabetic. They're on that standard American diet. And Brian, I've had instances where these people have been in rehab for 4 or 5 months and made very little progress. They just get kicked out because insurance quits paying for it. And I'm a firm believer that, especially if they just fall from a standing position, just what we call a patient level fall. If they had stronger bones, stronger muscles, and were more metabolically healthy, one, they may not have fallen, and two, if they did, it probably would have resulted in a much more minor injury. You think about it. Somebody that's diabetic, somebody who's like, say, type 2 diabetic, they have a sore on their foot or on their leg, it won't heal for a year. I mean, there's just no good circulation going to those areas. So the inverse has to be true as well, right? If you're very metabolically healthy, your mitochondria and your cells, your muscles, everything is healthy, then your blood flow to those areas is going to be better. And blood flow to those areas is what you need. That's how your body repairs itself. So I asked ChatGPT about this earlier today, and it said basically increased protein. If you're on, I didn't say carnivore diet, I said low carb diet, just kind of get around ChatGPT's bias, if you will. And I was surprised. It said animal protein is best. You need to double whatever your protein intake was before. And it was kind of surprising it said that, because who knows what somebody's normal protein intake is. Basically it said double it, 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, not ideal body weight. So basically it said increase animal protein intake to speed healing. And that was right off ChatGPT. So that was kind of surprising, but it goes along with what you and I and probably everybody in our audience would suspect, right?
Yeah. I was doing some research too about, how the whole process works, like through your getting nutrients through your blood vessels and so forth when you have an injury. And I had never really looked that stuff up before. And it was interesting to see just how your body knows how to repair itself, basically, right? Like it says that your body literally opens up the blood vessels bigger so that you get more nutrients going through them to repair the cells and the tendons and so forth that you've injured. So I thought that was really interesting. And that does bring up a point. I think I was thinking a little bit about this. When you are trying to recover from an injury, like I am right now, you do need that nutrition. So I'm actually thinking like maybe I need to increase a little bit how much I'm eating right now, and definitely not do any fasting other than like if I'm only eating once or twice a day, that's fine. I know the day that we worked out last week, boy, when we worked out, I was over 24 hours without eating at that point. So I was probably really needed nutrients. And I ended up eating, I think I ate twice that. No, it was just the once. I just that one time that day. But then the next day I ate twice. I think I've been pretty much twice ever since then. And that's probably a good thing because I'm making sure I'm getting more nutrients into my body to help with the recovery. So, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the comments in here, but let me go back and see if I can find. Yeah, here we go. This is interesting. So Bill got bit by something, and he said later that he still doesn't know what it was he got bit by, but he had basically an allergic reaction to it and had to go to the ER. So he had swelling and everything, and they gave him an EpiPen shot. And he said actually along with other shots, it was around 7:45 p.m. He was at the ER by 8:30. And then by 6 a.m. the next morning, he seemed fine.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he recovered pretty quickly.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's interesting, scary. Like, I wonder what he was bit by. Maybe a type of spider or something.
Well, Brian, the sickest I have ever been in my life, the time that I really thought I was going to die. I even called my wife and told her goodbye. I got bit by a brown recluse
Ooh.
spider. They're real common in North Carolina. Probably have them in Virginia too, but they're very common down here.
Yeah.
I was out pressure washing the house, 4th of July, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I was barefoot because I've always enjoyed grounding. And when you get bit by a brown recluse, there's no immediate pain. It's a very minor thing. You might feel like something crawled across you, but there's no pain. But they inject poison into you. And I left out that day. I had a long trip to do, and I was driving an 18-wheeler at the time. And I got to near Wilmington, North Carolina, and I have never been so sick. I mean, I was just flush. Felt like I was passing out. I was extremely nauseous. And I looked down, and my leg, I got bit on the top of the foot by the spider, and all the way up to my knee was beet red. It just looked, and I ended up putting ice on it. I didn't know. And I had this feel, but there's a saying we say in medicine called impending doom. When a person's getting ready to die, 9 times out of 10, they know they're getting ready to die. And I had that impending doom feeling. So I called my wife and told her goodbye and told her where my truck would be parked and come get my body. I've never been so sick. And I've had people that I've known in my line of work that have been bitten by a brown recluse and had to have skin grafts, and actually had to have, one guy had to have 2 fingers amputated. A friend of mine in high school had to have skin grafts on his leg from a brown recluse. So I don't know if Bill got bit by a brown recluse, but I know it's a much more serious bite than any of the other venomous spiders that we have in the Southeast. And I recovered. I was fine 2 days later, but I thought I was dying. I have never felt so bad. And that my leg stayed red for about a month. I kept putting ice on it. I went on UD and did all the studying I could do on how to recover from it. But that was so now I'm very, very conscientious when I'm out walking in the grass looking for those brown recluse spiders. That was miserable. Anyway, long answer.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, Bill says he's not sure. He thinks maybe it was a moth or something. He got bit on the head. Didn't have any marks, so no bite marks. Like, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's actually scary stuff.
I wonder if Bill being I wonder if Bill being a carnivore, if he were doing a standard American diet and very unhealthy, would it have been much worse than it was? Kind of tying into our topic.
Yeah. I'm thinking it probably would be. That's like I'm thinking with my hamstring. Like, the interesting thing is, and I think we talked about this Wednesday, as well. Before I went on carnivore, I used to have so many problems with like the top of my foot, my ankles, my knees, where they just swell up and so forth. And when I fell and everything, and then I wasn't really putting any pressure on that leg, nothing happened to like my ankles or anything. Like there's been no swelling in the week since then anywhere. I'm putting a lot more pressure onto my left foot than I normally would, and nothing is happening, which is another good sign for carnivore, helping to get rid of inflammation in your body that I would have probably had. Like, I can't imagine if I would have fallen and I wasn't on carnivore, how much worse it would have felt me and what else I might have hurt other than just my hamstring, And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it seems from everything I'm reading for a torn hamstring, I am recovering better than most people do at this point. It's still early stages, but I should find that picture. For anybody that hasn't seen it, I should actually put it in here because it's pretty interesting. If I can figure out how to share, where do I go to share? Oh, right here? Yeah, right here. All right. Let's see. And I got to tell you, though, I was looking at pictures online from other people that have torn hamstrings, and there are some that, they look awful. But mine wasn't just like a little tear. I can tell you that much. It was a pretty significant tear because there were definitely a lot of symptoms and stuff that fit more of a significant tear, and the bruising as well. And of course, I can't find it on my computer. Here we go. I think it's in here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. And it's actually a little bit bigger than this right now. Wow. So you can see where it's really wide there. That I was thinking that was maybe where the tear was, but maybe that's just where it all kind of went down to. And I did read that it's pretty common for the bruising to even go below the knee, even though it's the hamstring. But like right now, it's actually bigger than that. So it's interesting. But that's what it looks like. That's the biggest bruising I've ever had on my body.
Pretty impressive, Brian. Does your wife like that?
Yeah.
Battle scars?
No, it's funny though, because I can't remember if that was Saturday or Sunday, whichever day, she's like, it looks like you got a bruise there. And I was like, okay, it's possible. And so I had the compression sleeve on and I pulled it down and she's like, oh yeah, let me take a picture of this. So she's the one that took that picture. She's like, that is huge. I don't know. What can I say?
Yeah.
Oh, so we have A1 Savages here.
Hey, A1.
So hello. I had a bicycle wreck a few weeks ago. I was very lucky not to get seriously injured. That's good.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Oh, I missed this. Cynthia says, Johnny, I see that you shaved. I thought you were growing a beard considering the video you made earlier. Yes, it did look like you needed to shave. I was noticing that.
Yeah. My wife loves it. She loves that rugged thing. I just hate it. It itches. I'm always messing with it. My mustache touches my bottom lip, so I'm always moving my lips like I got some kind of nervous tick. So yeah, I shaved it off. The wife had to go out of town. We had one of my daughters, her husband's grandfather passed away kind of suddenly, and they have two small children. So my wife left out this morning to go to Atlanta to kind of babysit so that my daughter and her husband could go to the funeral without taking the two little ones. So she's gonna be gone for a couple of days, and I said, you know what, while she's gone, I'm going to shave it off, and when she comes back, it'll be over with. Because she would prefer to me wear that, maybe not all that grunge on my neck, but maybe have it a little more trimmed or whatever. But I'm not a fan. I play on it at night. It's prickly. Anyway, I'm just a big wuss. So it's gone.
I was going to say, what's interesting is, like, when I was younger, it was so hard to grow any kind of a mustache or beard at all. I would go like when I was in my 20s and even early 30s, I go like 4 or 5 days before I'd start to get stubbles and then shave. Now that I've been carnivore, it's either every other day or every day I am shaving. I keep this little bit here in the mustache and beard here, this little bit in the chin, but everything else I shave. And most of the time it is like every day. And it's weird, like how that has changed just from eating carnivore. The other things, you can't really notice my hair that much because I got this receding hairline, I guess, but I haven't cut my hair in a while. And you know what? I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you have longer hair like that, Johnny. And it's not like you got longer hair, but it's longer than me. Like It is so hot. And at night, like on the pillow, it's really hot on the pillow. So I don't know. I told my daughter who's getting married in the spring that I would grow it out and see what it looked like and let her decide if she liked it out more or if she wanted me to shave it again. But it's really annoying me. And it's funny because I see myself on camera here and it's like, oh my gosh, I got this receding hairline. It doesn't look like I have anything, but I really do. And it's just so hot. I'm not used to having hair. I don't know how you guys do it.
Brian, it's funny because when we met last Wednesday, when you came in, my wife and I came to the door and you came and greeted us at the door, that's the first thing I thought in my mind. I didn't say it out loud. I said, he's got a lot more hair than I thought he had. Because on camera, it doesn't look that much, but you really do have a lot of hair. I just assumed it'd be a lot, balder, if you will, but you had more hair than us.
Yeah.
When you meet a celebrity, and you're a celebrity to me, and you meet a celebrity for the first time, you notice things like that. I was trying not to fanboy you too much.
Well, it's funny because I'm looking at myself in the camera right now and I'm like, man, that is a big time receding hairline. And I don't really notice that. Like if I look in the mirror, I don't notice that. But on the camera, it looks like I got no hair. Even on top of the head, it looks like there's nothing there. But I can tell you, it's like I can grab it. I can grab it here. And my hair is, when I was younger and I used to let it grow out, it was very curly, thick like hair. And I didn't like that. So by the time I was like 16, I started just keeping it short and I've kept it that way the rest of my life. Okay. And I'm already remembering why I don't like that. It's interesting.
Cynthia says she tried to talk her husband into keeping his beard because she said it's not pretty when he shaves it off. My wife would tell you the same thing. The more of this I can cover up, the better the world is.
Well, my wife says that when I don't have anything here, I have too much of a baby face and I just look funny. So that's why I keep a little bit here too. I don't know. Greg says I need to grow out, let the hair grow out. I'm trying. I mean, it's been a couple weeks only, but it really, trust me, there's more hair than what it looks like here.
He's right about that.
Deceiving. The camera's deceiving, darn it.
It really is.
Target Prime Rib is here. Hello.
Hey, Target.
I'm growing hair on top of my head. Too hard to see at this point.
Brian, I do have, we're talking about carnivore and hair and stuff. I have a bald spot. If you watch my video, any of the videos where I'm doing push-ups, you can see this bald spot. It used to be markedly worse. It's actually started growing in. And I don't mind it. I've lost all my vanity. I'll shave if it gets too bad, I'll just start shaving my head. But it's actually growing in. But another thing, and we talked about circulation earlier as far as injury repair and trauma repair. And for men, this is very true, man. If you think about this, or if you know somebody, when you're in your, say, 40s or 50s, if your legs between your knees and your ankle go bald, all the hair goes away, like you don't have hairy legs below your knees, that is a sign of poor circulation because the hair follicles are basically starving for nutrients. Well, since I've gone carnivore, and before I went carnivore, it looked like my legs, like I shaved them every day in the shower. And I'm growing a pretty good bit of hair back on my legs again. That just shows you the power of the non-inflammatory diet and allowing blood flow to get down to an area. So you can imagine if I had an injury below my knee and I weren't carnivore, that might be a candidate for an amputation or, a year's worth of healing. But now, because I'm growing a pretty good bit of hair on my legs, I used to have very hairy legs, and like I say, it just went away. And now I feel like if I do have an ankle injury, a foot injury, or a lower leg injury, I would have a much better chance of recuperating from that than before, when there was no hair growing down there because the blood flow down there was so restricted from, inflammatory stuff in my veins and arteries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people talk about that too, where they've maybe not necessarily if they were bald getting hair back, but just if they were thinning, they get hair back. And I've also heard that about the legs as well.
Yeah.
There's a question here for you. How is the sprinting going? I've taken a month off, but dropping the hammer again tomorrow. So how's the sprinting going for you, Johnny? I know you talked a little bit about it already.
Well, A1 Savage, A number one Savage. As it turns out, you probably didn't see mine and Brian's live stream last week, or maybe my video. I drove to Virginia. My wife and I went to Virginia to Brian's house last week, and we did the carnivore, the real talk with Brian and Johnny live together. And we went out, Brian and I went out. There's a park right around the corner from his house, and we went out and we ran some sprints, and we both come up injured. Brian ended up tripping and falling on his last one. He was going a little faster than his legs would carry him, and he ended up pulling a hamstring. And that was the picture he showed a while ago, the blood in his hamstring. Well, I was there, and just before Brian did that, I ran my last one, my fastest one actually, 3.89, I think it was, in the 20-yard. And I pulled my quad on the front of my leg where it connects to my knee. And so I didn't do any sprinting between then and now, giving it a chance to heal. But I just put out a video about 2 hours ago, maybe 2.5 hours ago, showing a recipe, I think the title's Carnivore Money Hack. I found an inexpensive way to eat, and I've created a new dish. And at the end of it, I showed my workout. The cooking was yesterday. The workout was today. And I just did overhead presses, inverted push-ups, curling, and then I did some jump rope. And of course, I put music behind it. But I'll get back to sprinting hopefully next week. If we can keep the weather from getting too bad, too cold, too soon, I'll plan on sprinting for hopefully 4 or 5 more weeks before the weather turns bad. But yeah, keep it up. If you can sprint, be very careful. Do some dynamic stretching before you start, and don't try to go faster than you're ready to go right now.
Do you think we should show my video of me falling again?
Yeah, I think there's some people watching this week maybe didn't see it.
Didn't see it yet. All right, I'm going to show it. It's only like 20 seconds. So here it goes.
All right. All right, Brian, are you ready?
Yeah.
On your mark, get set, go. Good job, good job. Push, 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 go, 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 go.
I think I had some pretty good form going there until I lost my balance. And you could kind of see I just kind of lost my balance. We're thinking that there may have been like a little divot or something in the ground, because we think that's also how right about the same distance from the finish line is also where Johnny had his pull up. So we think that's kind of, I lost my balance. I was leaning forward too much, lost my balance hitting that spot. And then I went down, and, I don't know, probably with going down is what caused it. I do know that, like, as I went to get back up, there was something with my hamstring. So, anyway, that's what happened. So that we showed again.
I've gone back and watched the video in super slow motion. If you get a chance to do that, watch your 9th step. It's your left foot. It looks like it goes down. And I know you hurt your right side, but if you try to compensate with your right leg, that would explain it. But if you ever go back and watch it in super slow motion, you guys can do the same. Just set your settings on, go on YouTube and set the settings at like 25% speed or whatever. Count that 9th and watch your left foot. So I've gone back and like just tried to break it down to see.
Okay.
And it's about the same area where I felt something in the front of my leg. That was my right leg, and I've watched mine. I don't see where my leg goes higher or lower, but on yours, I definitely see. It looks like your left leg goes down and kind of your foot kind of goes like that, and then you start falling. Anyway.
And so that could be, like you said, that I was trying to compensate for that, and that's how it happened, because it is my right leg, my right hamstring. Amy is here.
Amy.
There we go. Hello, Amy, driving home from choir practice, tuning in. Yeah, you were pedal to the metal. So this was what, the 6th? This was number 6, I think, right? Yeah, the 6th sprint. So I did 5 sprints before that, slowly going from a fairly slow pace to a faster pace. And I think the 5th sprint I did, I was really close to that. I might have been going just a little bit faster this time. I think the biggest problem was that I was probably leaning forward too much. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I know you got the video where you slowed it down in slow-mo, so I can use that and slow it down more from there and really look at it. That'd be good to see. You did better than I would. I run like a housewife in Tom and Jerry Seen a Mouse. I gotta tell you, I was even saying before we started, Johnny, I was saying like, this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna look weird because I haven't sprinted. It was like, when I look back at it, it's been like 35 years since I ran sprints, like when I was in high school playing basketball, right? So I haven't sprinted in that kind of time. And I was really surprised that I was doing as well as I was. I thought 51-year-old fat man, old man, it was going to look really funny. It didn't look as bad as I thought it was going to. I actually looked like I knew what I was doing out there.
Yeah. If we would have just stopped after that 5th one, I mean, I hate that. But yeah, you did, Brian. I think I said this last week, and I'll just reiterate it again for people that didn't see it. My fastest time was basically a 3.9. Brian was a 4.4, so only a half a second. Think about how long a second is. Cut that in half. I've been sprinting consistently for 2 years. That was Brian's first time, and he was only a half a second off me. And Brian and I agreed that had he not fallen, he was probably on pace for a 4.1 or 4.1 or 4.2, which would have put him only 0.3 behind me. And I've been sprinting religiously for 2 years. Even when I fell off the diet, even when I've had problems sticking to the diet, I have continued to sprint because I love it so much.
Maybe it's, because I'm tall with my longer legs. I don't know. Because, I mean, I've never been considered a fast person. Like when I was in high school, I was not that fast. I actually ran cross country in middle school. I wasn't that good at that either. But, yeah, that wasn't really sprinting. It's funny because, that's more of your long distance running. It was middle school, so it was like 2 miles. It wasn't, occasionally there was like a big event where we had a 4-mile run, but it wasn't like it was anything really big. But there would be these people that would just sprint past you running really fast. And I'm going my slow, like cartoon slow motion. And then like 5 minutes later, they're walking slowly, completely out of breath, and I pass them up. And then 5 minutes later, they pass me up sprinting again. I was not very good at it, but at least I tried.
And I thought you did great.
Yeah, I bet you this is true. I've read that only 5% of the U.S. population will sprint ever again after the age of 30. I bet that's true. Most people don't.
If you go back to, we'll say prehistoric days, you had to sprint. You had to sprint to either get away from a predator chasing you or to chase something to eat. So you didn't have an option 10,000 years ago. You were going to get killed by something, or you're going to have to, chase something down to kill it to have food. But in today's world, where you got McDonald's and Starbucks on every corner, there's no reason for people to sprint. But Brian, like I know, there's a lot of metabolic advantages to high intensity stuff like sprinting. You just got to be careful.
Well, and that's another point to the whole use it or you lose it type of thing. Yeah. People don't sprint and they can't really sprint anymore. Or they go too much too soon, like I did, and get hurt. Right. So yeah, that's the whole thing with just muscle strength too. Like as you get older, people tend to not work out and use their muscles as much, and they lose their muscle strength. Same thing. Rick sprints for parking lot chicken, duck, and iguana.
Rick, I watched your video a while ago where Rick, you drove your bicycle to Home Depot and then to Winn-Dixie and got the leg quarter. So I literally about 30 minutes ago, about 30 minutes before we went on air, I was watching. I watched your video from today, Brian, and then I watched Rick's, and then I got ready to come on air here. Rick was talking about on his video about how some people who are carnivore influencers are maybe tweaking their diets just a little bit to see if they can make some improvements. Even Dr. Kiltz said he's going to try to add more seafood into his diet. And Rick was talking about so many people do the lion diet, and I've never been lion diet because I eat bacon, I eat eggs, and I eat hot sauce, I eat pork. You know, I don't eat a lot of pork, but when I first started, I ate a lot of pork because all I could afford. I was kind of between jobs when I first started, so money was tight. But yeah, I don't really see a big reason to tweak mine. My wife's got some grapes. She loves grapes, and every now and then I'll grab me a couple grapes and eat them. I don't think I'm going to die from that. And one thing I've noticed, the longer I was carnivore and the more stricter I was, the less cheating would hurt me. And what I mean by that, obviously it caused weight stalls, but I wouldn't get like inflammation. Some people say they go off plan for one day and then their back's killing them, their knees are hurting, their ankles are hurting, their fingers, their arthritis in their hands. And I'm sympathetic to that. But for me, even the days that I grab something and eat it that I know I shouldn't, I don't really have a lot of problems from that. And I'm not saying you should cheat at all, but if you do, especially because I think I healed so much because I was so strict for that first year that, your body is so sick. So if you heal your body, I think you have a little more tolerance to step outside a little bit. I could be wrong, but that was kind of what Rick was talking about on that video today, how some people have done strict lion like Sean Baker, and then other people are talking about maybe tweaking things here, still staying carnivore, but maybe not staying beef all the time, maybe throwing in some seafood or something. And I love shrimp, by the way.
Yeah. I eat mostly burgers and chuck steaks, but I do have other carnivore meats from time to time. I'm kind of like that. Like I eat a lot of beef. I eat a lot of steak, either ribeye or New York strip. I'll eat ground beef, that kind of stuff. But I still have a little bit of other stuff too. So just Saturday, I had some chicken wings. So, sample something else I'd eat. And sometimes I have some kind of pork, whatever, bacon or, I've done like pulled pork on the smoker, that kind of stuff. So I do have seafood sometimes. So I don't just have beef, but that is probably the primary thing I eat most of the time. Yeah. And I do feel best when I eat that. But yeah, I've never really tried to limit myself to different restrictions within carnivore, like just lion diet or even beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. If I say I'm going to do that, then there's going to be a time I'm going to have some shrimp or something, and then I'm not doing it, right? So I've never really tried to do that. I just, whatever I'm wanting at that time, I eat it,
Yep.
So Amy tweaked her carnivore macros and churned the fat down and lost 3 pounds of the 20 that she had gained. No way will I increase my carbs, just not eating as much fat. Yep. That's good. I just got a text message. Hold on here.
I know. I don't mean to be looking away, guys. I'm not ignoring you. Amy came up with a new theme song for her channel, right? It's Keto Rock Stars. Is that right, Amy? That's you, right? Rockin' Keto, Amy. New theme song, Keto Rock Stars. I saw that. I just wanted to point that out. If you guys haven't been to her channel or follow her on Facebook or whatever, she's got a new song out. Keto Rock Stars, and she is a rock star, by the way.
Yep. All right. So, yep. She says, yep, that was me.
Yeah. I loved it. I wanted to bring that up and show it.
Cool. So you mentioned that I had a video out earlier today, and I was thinking maybe next week our topic could be something along the lines of, since we're getting close to Halloween and what you can do for trick-or-treaters outside of giving them candy. And I think we could come up with some good ideas. I think everybody that's watching the show and commenting can throw in ideas and so forth. So I think that would be a cool topic that we could do next week. That way it's like a couple weeks right before, week and a half or whatever it is, right before Halloween. Maybe it's 2 weeks, whatever it is. You know, give everybody some time to come up with some cool ideas. So I think that would be a good topic. What do you think?
It'd be a great topic.
I'm just bringing it on you.
Yeah, I had a conversation. I can remember it was last year, or year before last. You remember Carnivore Soldier?
Yep.
He was living down in Texas, and he was talking about that. We were having a conversation on one of the, I think it was a Carnivore Roundtable that I was on with John and everybody. And he said something about that, the different things that you could do where you can still participate and hand the kids something in your neighborhood. We got a lot of kids in our neighborhood. So that was a great topic. So I think that's on point, especially right now, this close to Halloween. What can we do to still participate in the fun for the kids and everything, be a part of it, but not be handing out poison to these children like everybody else is.
Yeah. All right. So I think we got our topic already for next week, guys. This is the first. We've never had it before finishing our previous live stream. So be on the lookout for that and think of ideas of good things. They could be things, even doesn't have to be food, things you make or something or whatever. So think of those things that can help give us ideas next week. Yeah. Rick is going to give away duck eggs.
Yeah, that'd be a great price. Those things are expensive. If you go to the store and buy them, they're very expensive.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this. I put it up. Amy said, "Thank you so much. You inspired me with your music."
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ryan, I made. Have you listened to the song? I made you 2 songs. Did you listen to the songs I made you after I left?
I have not yet. But today, this is literally the first time. And I mean, you saw I logged in like 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've been sitting at my computer desk since last Wednesday evening. So I haven't really, other than just, I've had for work, I've still been working, but from home, I've had my work laptop on my lap while I'm relaxing on a recliner when I've worked. And I got to tell you, it's been so nice to be able to do that. Like, probably in a couple weeks here, I'm going to have to start going back into the office a couple days. And that's going to be annoying because, like I said, sitting isn't the best in the world. I actually got, right before we started, I got a pillow that I got on top of my computer chair here because it was really hurting. It isn't too bad with the pillow. So I've been kind of moving around a little bit though. But yeah, I don't know. When I have to go back in the office, it's going to be interesting. So I haven't seen those videos yet. Sorry, but I will. They're in my inbox. I just haven't.
Yeah, I emailed them to you. Yeah, the songs.
Yep.
Ryan the Sprinter. I've got them on my phone, but the Songer, the app that I use, has changed something. So when I try to download it on my phone so that I can put it in my playlist, because I thought they both turned out great. It won't let me save it in my playlist. So I got to go back and figure out what I'm doing wrong. Technology, as you know, is not my strong suit, but yeah, I thought those 2 songs worked out pretty good. I made one that was kind of a rock thing, and then I made one that was a reggae thing, and they both turned out really good. I hope you get a chance maybe to use them in a video one day or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it might be a few months at this point, but yeah. All right. I'm not sure what this is. I missed this. You make it a meme.
Oh yeah, okay. Maybe for the song or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, here you go. You can help Rick. He needs to figure out how to make theme music in 1950s to 1960s style.
I'll do it, Rick. I'll come up with something for you. I'll make it for you and send it to you.
Oh, he's talking about my fall.
Oh, oh yeah, exactly.
So if you guys have not seen Johnny's video, he goes through the whole thing of that day. Like he said before, his wife recorded everything for us. And you can see like where we're first setting up and all that stuff. And you can see all the other runs, all the different sprints that we did and so forth. I don't know if all of them are in there, but several of them are.
Yeah.
But when he got to mine, like I texted him and I was like, Johnny, that was like the best edit I've ever seen. The way you edited the slow motion, it kept going back into it in the fall. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know I fell and everything, but it was really funny.
Got to get some comic relief out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you came up a little bit lame, but at least you didn't like break your arm or break your shoulder or something. That was what I was worried about, going down and maybe breaking a wrist or shoulder. You know, I hate that you tore the hamstring, but at least you fell gracefully.
Yeah. And you know what else is interesting here is I've been actually joking around about it since it happened and had a good attitude about it. Before Carnivore, I would have been miserable. I would have had a good attitude about it. It's just how your mood changes with Carnivore too. Injuries aside, both of you guys look amazingly healthy. Johnny, think about it when you first started this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like when you go to pictures before you start Carnivore to how you look a few years later, it's amazing the difference.
And Brian, I'll tie those two things together. You just said that had this happened and you fell and got injured before Carnivore, you would have been really mad and upset. So when I see old pictures of myself before going Carnivore, it's not so much, I mean, I was obviously morbidly obese. I'm still obese. I'm just not morbidly obese. I'm still working on that. But my mental health, I mean, I'm just in a fantastic mood all the time. I mean, bad stuff still happens. I still struggle, you know, with stuff at work, stress, but it rolls off my back. So that mental health, the mental healing, since we were talking about healing with Carnivore, the mental health healing has been, for me, just that, if not more important than the physical healing. Because I'm getting closer and closer to my last day on earth, you know, hopefully it'll be 30 or 40 years down the road. But I'm in the best mood now I've ever been. And I hate to beat a dead horse because you and I have talked about this for 2 weeks consecutive now. So this will be week 3 that I'm bringing it up. Adding those darn ferments. I cannot tell you how, Brian said this last week and I reiterated it. When you're doing Carnivore and you're doing well and like the exercise and everything, you think that's as good as you could ever feel because it's better than you've ever felt. But you add just a pinch of ferment, some sauerkraut, some kefir, some live active culture yogurt, just a little bit with your meals, and man, it levels you up to a new level. And I've been doing that consistently, and I'm just always in a good mood. I'm very appreciative of everybody that watches us or watches me. If you ever notice my comments on anybody else's videos or anybody else's YouTube, I try to lift them up. I'm inspired by everybody in this community, and so. Not only does I think Carnivore help the body heal, but it certainly helped my mind heal. And my soul, too.
Yeah, well said. I think we have a winner here for Rick. You should do doo-wop music with Milton singing and the ducks and iguanas as his backups. Could you imagine?
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That would probably get millions of views and Rick could retire.
Yeah, but we got to figure out how Rick can do that because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We're plugging it for you, Rick. You got to do it. Rick eats yogurt almost daily.
Yeah.
I know the last time when we were talking about it, Rick was saying that he makes his own fermented foods from the vegetables he grows in his garden.
He makes his own kefir and yogurt too.
Yep, that takes all the toxins out of it when you ferment it and all the carbohydrate and everything. So I feel much better. I still have some depression issues, but nothing like before. My depression is mostly activated if I feel ignored, which is less often now. Good.
Well, Target Prime Rib, you can reach out to me if you ever need somebody to talk to, just to shoot a text back and forth. Hit me up. You can, because I just love to interact with people. So, Brian, I got a little update. So I had a buddy of mine, a guy that I went to high school with. His name's Larry, and I think he'll be okay with me talking about him on here. He was pre-diabetic for years. He's an auto mechanic, so he's always had a relatively active physical job. But he was pre-diabetic. He hadn't had the best diet. He's Asian, so rice is a huge part of his diet and has been his whole life. And he reached out to me about 2 months ago, saying, "Hey, you know, the doctor just said I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I am now full-blown diabetic. Please help me." So I've directed him to all the doctors. I've given him all the advice I can give him, and I text him 3 or 4 times a week, just trying to encourage him. "You're doing great, buddy. You're right there. Don't give up. I know it's tough." And he's reached out to me, and he said that he is already feeling so much better, and it hasn't even been a month yet. And so I was able to evangelize one person. You know, he reached out to me, and I'm hoping to have him on my channel in the next couple of weeks. I'd love to do an interview with him, especially since he's in the early stages, but he's already beginning to see some benefit. And he's somebody that has a lot medically going on, and he's kind of at that crossroads where if he'll continue to do this and stay consistent with it and add some things like sunshine and grounding and you know, things like that, I think he can completely turn his life around. He's got grandkids that live close to him. He's very active with his grandkids. And the biggest thing I want for him is to be able to play with those grandkids for a long time. Anyway, Larry, if you're watching this, give you a little shout out there. I'm going to get you on my channel if you'll come on. Some people don't want to be on camera, which I don't understand that, because I'm always wanting to be on camera. But I respect if people don't want to, you know, put it out there. But Larry's doing fantastic. Yeah. I just love interacting with him.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the ferments, Rick was saying he's got cabbage and onions fermenting on the countertop right now. That's pretty cool.
Rick is my hero. He is my idol. I'm going to be just like him when I grow up.
Ferments are a great supplement to carnivore. Dr. Lisa Wiedemann has implemented ferments with great results. So has Dr. Sean O'Mara.
Mm-hmm. And Brian, we talked you and I talked about, and this is, you can find this all over social media, all over any research you do, how their research is saying now that you basically have a second brain. Your gut microbiome controls so many of the processes. I wonder if adding ferments to the carnivore diet can actually help speed up healing from injury. I mean, it makes perfect sense. If so many hormones and so many chemicals in your body are controlled by the gut microbiome, it only makes sense that adding those ferments, because you feel better with it, I feel better with it, Rick feels better with it. It makes sense that adding ferments would maybe help even speed up, even if it's just a fraction, the healing process, because of how important the microbiome is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hello,
it could very well be. Yeah, so the Kingdom Way Keto to Carnivore says hello from Ontario. So hello.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Oh, check out this from Rick. Every old timer I knew who lived over 90 ate some kind of fermented foods.
A lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom in that.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. All right. So let's see what else we got going on today. Anything else we want to talk about?
Well, I don't want to be controversial, Brian, but you said earlier, well, so I know, because I'm really big into fasting, and you did a video about 2 weeks ago about adding fasting, right? And then we talked about how maybe adding extra protein could help heal from this injury. So I asked ChatGPT about an hour or so before you and I went on air here, does fasting improve HGH, which is human growth hormone? And it said yes, and here's the mechanism, blah, blah, blah. And I said, so if somebody has a musculoskeletal injury, would fasting help repair the injury? And it said yes, but not long-term fasting, 24 to 48 hours, especially initially after the injury. So, I mean, HGH, human growth hormone, I mean, that's what helps repair, right? So it almost contradicts itself, except for the fact that if you say if you did OMAD 1 meal a day and you increased your protein at that meal and did the 24-hour fast, you might gain some of the advantage of the increased HGH production in your body, which gets to stem cells, which you know a lot more about than I do. And then adding the extra protein, animal protein, you add all that together, and you might be onto something as far as, because we're going to get hurt, we're going to get injured. You're going to, except Rick's never going to get hurt, but people are going to fall and things are going to happen. If you can use these protocols to speed up the healing process and maybe avoid going to the emergency room or whatever, I don't know. That was just my thought, because I know when after 72 hours of fasting, you get a lot of brand new stem cells, but then you're not having protein for those 72 hours. So I don't know how to square that circle. I might go back after we get off and ask Chat GPT, kind of give it, hey, well, this, you said this, and then you said this. How do you make those two things both be true? Unless you're just doing like a 26 or 36 or 24 or 36 hour fast with increased protein, animal protein at the time of feeding. Thoughts?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, so maybe the thing to do is to decrease the fat intake a little bit and increase the protein intake and try and stay at 1 meal a day. That'd be an interesting thing. Maybe I should try that, because like I said, I've been kind of eating 2 meals a day here, but I don't know. You know what's interesting though? I got to tell you, just as we've been sitting here talking, like I'm noticing myself here, like using my right leg. Like I'm sitting here, and you know how sometimes when you're sitting and you kind of do this like nervous thing with your feet, like you going up and down, whatever, like, I don't know, like to a beat or something with your leg. I just caught myself doing that. Like I could not do that 2 days ago.
Wow.
With my right leg. So that was interesting. There was something I saw. Oh, so I don't know. Did you guys see my message above about the invite? I'm not sure I did.
You scroll back up and see it. Is it on it must be on your channel, Brian, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see it in the comments here. What was the invite for? I don't see it. Maybe just posted it again. Maybe YouTube is blocking it, or StreamYard, because I don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't either. Try it again, Target Prime Rib. Type it in there again if you will.
Yeah,
we'll definitely talk about it.
He said he just posted it again. It's not coming up.
What if he has a link? Post a link to something and it blocked it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not seeing it. Yeah, Greg doesn't see it either.
Yeah. I think it's posted on my channel. But if you're trying to post a link, it may not let you post a link to something. You may have to actually kind of type out what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I find it very interesting that as I'm sitting here, and really as the day has gone on today, I'm noticing myself subconsciously using my leg in ways I haven't in the past week, which is good.
And Brian, that injury, if you go back and do research, I guarantee you, when you look at people saying 4 to 6 to 8 weeks for that injury to heal, they're not talking about it in a 51-year-old man. That's probably in a 25, 30-year-old. You think the fact that you're 51 plus and you're already having that much healing, it has to speak to the metabolic healthiness of your body because of the carnivore diet. I would think that somebody on a standard American diet at 51 years old with the exact same injury would be down for months and months. But because, and if you were, I mean, no offense, but if you were up moving around, and I didn't think about this, you told me, I mean, you kind of brought this up when we were at the park. Your muscles aren't really ready for that. So because you haven't been doing a lot of hiking or sprinting or hill climbing or whatever, you put stress on the muscles that they weren't really ready for. So even thinking that, I think if you add the carnivore thing, the fact that you've already healed as much as you have at 51 years old with obviously a dramatic, it's a tear because a pull, there would not be any blood pooling under the skin. So that muscle literally tore. I mean, it literally tore. And that's why it's bleeding in there. So to have the amount of healing you've had at 51 years of age speaks to what the whole show is about, how the carnivore diet can absolutely positively not protect you from injuries, but help you get better from injuries. Think about people in car wrecks, people with traumatic brain injuries, people with shattered shoulders or knees or whatever. You know, that they're completely carnivore and go clean carnivore. I think it can dramatically reduce their time off work and, you know, save them money. Because like me, I only have so much sick time built up because I've only been at this company for a little over a year. So if I get injured, I'll get paid for about a week, but after that, I'm on my own. So being carnivore hopefully would help me, you know, get back to work pretty quick.
Yep.
There's Peter. Peter's there.
Yeah. Hey, Peter.
Yeah, Peter, buddy.
So Rick asked if either of us are doing any cycling. I don't even have a bike other than an exercise bike. I haven't used it in a while, but when I was using it, I would do some high intensity interval training with it. So I would just pedal as hard and fast as I could for about 30 seconds. And then I'd go really nice and easy as kind of like a cool down for like a minute or two. And then I go really hard again for like 30 seconds. And I would do like a 15 or 20 minute workout doing that. And it's really taxing. That was just on an exercise bike, not an actual bicycle. I haven't had my own bicycle in, I don't know, 30 years, maybe. It's been a long time. How about you, Johnny?
I actually, up until a couple of years ago, I was racing BMX bicycles in the 50 and over class. And yes, there is such a thing. My youngest daughter got really big into BMX racing when she was 11 or 12 years old. And a lot of the dads, you know, the other daughters and sons, we all started racing together. And we traveled the circuit. And so I did some BMX bicycle racing up until probably 4 years ago. Even though my daughter quit, you know, she got in high school and got a car and started dating, she kind of got away from that. But I still enjoyed it. I had a good community of friends out there. And I still have my bike in the garage. It's a little 20-inch Mongoose, you know, kid's bike. And I look like an idiot on it. But, you know, I wear a helmet, neck brace, chest protector, elbow pads. I look like a hockey goalie out there, you know. And I've taken some nasty spills. I have taken some nasty spills. And I won a lot. I mean, I was very good. I won a lot, but I crashed a lot too, kind of all or nothing kind of thing. But I have it's kind of a mountain bike / road bike that I bought several years ago at Walmart, actually, for about $160. And I was riding it all the time. My two youngest grandsons came up here and were riding it, and they like to skid the back tire. You know, they'd go real fast down the road and skid the back tire. Well, they finally popped the inner tube and tore the tire up, and I still got to take it and get a new tube and a tire put on there. And then that would be some good content, Rick. I need to do that. I need to have Johnny's ride and talk and kind of compete with you on that. I pulled it out today. I was getting my golf clubs out to go golfing, and I moved the bike, and I said I need to get a tube and a tire on this thing, and I figure some way to mount my camera on there. But great idea, Rick. I'm gonna start doing that probably next week. Get some good content as well.
So I got to ask also. Now, Johnny, I know we talked about this when you were here because I was talking about how I had these. Mm-hmm. Anybody else try these? I know my camera's acting weird, but it's Topo Chico. It's flavored sparkling water, but it's the lime flavored one. But anybody try these? They're actually really good and fairly good. You know, there's some ingredients to it, but I have one every once in a while, maybe one every couple days. Pretty good. I know, Johnny, you said that you love them too.
I
right?
do. Yeah, I was buying those, you know, buying by 12-pack, 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever. The same one, the lime one, is my absolute favorite. And I started collecting these aluminum cans everywhere. So I bought me a trash can and put a liner in it, and I've got all those cans crushed. And then for Christmas this last year, my wife bought me a Soda Stream, I don't know if that shows up on there, where you can make your own sparkling water. Now, it came with a syrup container of Diet Coke and Diet Sprite. I just threw those away. So I just get filtered water out of my refrigerator, and then I put this thing up there and I shoot the CO2 in it. So I make my own sparkling water. And then Wendy's, if you go to Wendy's and get burger patties at Wendy's, they have sparkling water on their machine. The brand is AHA, AHA. If you look on the big kiosk where you can get your own soda or whatever. If you look at the little emblem that says AHA sparkling water, they have a lime one and an unflavored one. And so when I go to Wendy's and get burger patties, I usually get me a large sparkling water out of their fountain. And it's just water and bubbles. The lime one has some probably artificial ingredients, much like the Topo Chico. But most of the time now, I've kind of got used to drinking the unflavored, but I do enjoy the lime. That's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have something other than water sometimes, right? Just add a little flavor to it.
Exactly.
So he said he tried to post on both channels several times, no effect. I don't think it's that you made anybody mad, because obviously we're seeing your other posts.
Yeah.
So I think there must be some kind of a default setting that's keeping a link from being posted or something like that. I don't know.
Just
it could be something with the live stream. Yeah, it could even be just because we're using StreamYard, a third party, service for the live stream. So maybe it's something StreamYard does. I don't know. I wonder if I can even see. I don't even see any settings in here for anything. Just style, but that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have anything. I don't know.
Rick said Topo Gigio from the Ed Sullivan Show. Rick, I know exactly what you're talking about. Does anybody else out there know what Topo Gigio is from Ed Sullivan? That's probably before your time, Brian.
It is. It is. I know. I'm a young 51.
Yeah.
Says invited us both to his channel to chew the fat.
Do you do lives, Prime Rib? I think you do. I think I've seen some of your stuff before, but don't you do lives one day a week and have you like put the link out there where people can come on? They click on the link and come in.
Well, I mean, one thing you can do is email us.
Yeah.
If you go to, I'm pretty sure John uses the same way, but if you go to my YouTube channel and go to the About or somewhere in there, there's an option for an email address that you can click up and it will show you my email address and you can email me and send the link that way. So yes, Tuesday and Saturday he does lives.
Yeah, I thought so. And I think he puts the link out there where pretty much anybody can. There's my email right there. Anybody, feel free to capture that email and you can email me about anything, anytime. I love to communicate. But yeah, I think he has his show, then he puts the link out and then, he'll have like up to 6 or 8 people or whatever. And you just click on the link and then go push you in the backstage. Then eventually he'll bring you on. Yeah, thanks for that, man. I'd love to come on and meet your audience as well. Probably have a lot of overlap in the audience, but it'd be nice to come on there and share your time with you as well.
Yeah, that would be fun. Right. Well, we're getting close to an hour and a half. We're a little bit early of that, but I'm kind of thinking it might be a good ending point at this point. I've been sitting in this chair for almost an hour and a half now, and let me tell you, it's not comfortable when you have a hamstring injury. So kind of as a closing here, Johnny, what do you have anything new coming up on your channel that you want to talk about or anything?
Yeah, I put out that video today. You guys, if you will, do me a favor, check out the video that I put out today. It's called Carnivore Money Hack, and see what you think about it. I ran across some meat that was on sale at the grocery store that the manager had marked down like 35% off or whatever. And I came home and cooked it a way I've never done before. And it is either really good or really bad. Watch the video and find out. On my channel, and it's a video just released a couple hours ago. I think it had like 20 views already or whatever, but check that out and give me some feedback in the comments. Tell me, have you ever done that? Is that a meat that you would eat? And is that how you would prepare it? And then I got a little workout montage at the end. I think the video is 12 minutes long, 11 minutes long. And you can see the workout I did because I couldn't do sprints, I did a little upper body thing. And I did do some jump rope at the end, and I put some reggae music behind it today. I love that reggae. And just want to remind everybody, Brian, like you said earlier, next week's topic, we're going to talk about alternative things to give out for Halloween. So be thinking about that during the week, guys. Alternative things that we can hand out, participate in the neighborhood with the kids for Halloween, but not give them, the poison comes wrapped in a wrap.
Yep. Now, Rick says, try sitting on couch for hours doing a live stream. At least Rick is hurt. So, but yeah, I get that. There's no way right now I could sit there for hours. I'd have to get up for a while. I'd have to probably stand up for a while and talk for like 5-10 minutes standing. So, something like that, because yeah, it's funny. You just don't realize how much you use your hamstring until you've really hurt it. Like, I've pulled my hamstring before and had it be sore and so forth, but nothing like a tear. Like, everything you do, bending over, up and down the steps, walking, jumping, running, sitting. You're just with sitting, it gets sore after so long. It's just everything you do, your hamstrings affected. It's crazy. Main Runner says, hello, good evening.
Hey.
Unfortunately, we're at the end, getting ready to sign off, but you can watch the replay. I hope you do. But thank you for joining. Nothing beats discounted fresh meat. Rick did see that video, by the way.
You did? You saw it?
Yeah, Rick says he did. Yep, he saw it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He also says once the weather is not as hot, he's going to do a sprinting video. So that'd be cool. Cynthia says, thanks, guys. It's good you're ending this. I've been rebounding. I am booed out. All right. Yeah, it's funny. Rick says, my neighborhood kids never come for Halloween. I have very few kids in my neighborhood too. And it never used to be that way, like when we first moved out here, but now it is. So that's interesting. Yep. She's going to watch, she or he, I should say. I'm sorry. Main Runner. It is she, right? It looks like the pictures of she. Yep. It's going to watch the replay. So cool. All right. So we'll have that, Halloween topic next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central. And we'll see everybody then. Thanks.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us.